Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to a YouTube video. And on today's video, I want to go ahead and share a little bit of a disclaimer about options trading. So a lot of you individuals know how to approach option trading. It's a very high reward form of investing, but also very high risk. And you have to learn how to manage this risk. Risk isn't bad, but not managing it is. So there's different components to option trading that allow you to manage how you perform, how much you are risking, how much you can lose, how much you can earn. And I share this with you guys because the internet and social media is portraying options trading as this grand escape. You know, a lot of individuals I meet, yo, Jerry, I want to get into option trading to, get out of my job, go full-time trading and be my own boss, enjoy my free time. Amazing. It's extremely possible. But at the same time, guys, this isn't something that is too, I guess you can say, I don't want to say dependable. It's very, very volatile, and as a beginner, if you're not investing in coaching, you're not investing in guidance, and you're not, more importantly, investing the time to learn, you're going to have a really hard time. So I give you guys these advisories. I warn you, because this isn't a rainbows and sunshine like Instagram paints it to be. And I want you guys to understand that. So before I go ahead and get into my channel and start a lot of these option trading tips for 0-day expirations, option trading tips for swing trades, because that's essentially where I'm trying to steer the channel now. I want to get back into option trading tips for a lot of the individuals working with me, and more importantly, the audience that I now have, because this is attractive. It's a great way to make money, but guys, you have to respect it. You have to know how to diversify yourself. Just because option trading is a vehicle for investing does not mean that you have to allocate 100% of your portfolio's value or 100% of the capital you have to invest into option trading. Learn diversification. What does this mean, Jerry? Well, let's say you have $1,000, right? I say this very humbly. I know a lot of individuals that work with me have way more than this, but if you have $1,000, it's important that you begin to understand diversification and planning how you're going to disperse this. So if you have $1,000, I would recommend myself, you go with about 70% into stocks. Buy shares. Yes, they're not going to make you hundreds in a day, but if you could compound $700 at maybe 10%, not going to say annually, I believe you can do way more than 10% annually. I had a trucker that I work with in Florida, my buddy David. We had him invest, I believe it was approximately $680, and the next morning he made 15% on Robinhood. Now this is a rare case. Not every single investment makes 15% in a day, but this one was taken with the narrative of the Clarity Act getting passed through Congress again, and here coming September 18th. So I expected a higher volume because of crypto's momentum, because of this bill being passed, and more importantly, NVIDIA earnings coming now this week, attracting a lot of a higher volume for this brokerage, which was Robinhood. And I took it on this thesis, had them invest the capital, we made 15% in a day. So is it possible? Absolutely. Is it going to happen every single time? No. But if you could compound, let's say those 700 at 15%, 10% is 70, half of that is 35. He made $105 in his sleep. By the time the market closed to the market open, he made $105. And that was very conservative, right? This is only $700. If I tell you guys grand numbers, if you invested $10,000 and you made 15%, dude, you just made $1,500 in a day. Or sometimes 10% can happen in a week. Those type of moves exist, but do you want to chase them? No. Set your expectations to make roughly 10% annually, which should be your target goal for your investments, and it should also be roughly the baseline that you look for. Now, what can you maybe make? You could probably make close to 40% APY if you manage your portfolio correctly. But understanding diversification, now you're allowing yourself to put the largest amount of your capital into something more stable. Stocks don't go up 20, 30% in minutes or in days. It takes time. You can manage risk a lot more, I guess you can say, emotionally regulated. You're a lot more in control of managing that risk than something like options, especially 0-day expiration options. Some people take intraday options where those contracts are going up 20 to 30% in sometimes minutes. The intraday contracts go up 20-30% in sometimes days. That kind of volatility, if you're not used to scaling capital, losing money, investing money, emotions get involved, and oftentimes It's very tricky. So I want you guys to learn that skill set of managing your emotions, growing capital, understanding percentages, not numbers, because that's the toughest part about option trading. Detaching yourself from the numbers, focusing on the percentage. If you can compound 20% per trade on, let's say, 5 trades, dude, you just doubled your money. And that's very doable. If you're an option trader yourself that may be experienced in 0 DTEs, intradays, you understand how possible that is. But is it easy to do? Sometimes it is, but oftentimes it's not. Not because it's the difficulty, but it's because our reward system is chasing more and more and more. And sometimes we want to just jump the button. Impulsive decisions, right? It impacts a lot of traders. So I share this with you guys because option trading is very high risk, and social media paints it to be this beautiful picture that can make you financial freedom, have you quit your job, go full-time, buy a Lamborghini, travel the world. Unfortunately, that's not the reality. And I want you guys to understand this because I want you guys to have a great experience with trading and investing. I don't want you guys to get discouraged. I don't want you guys to have a negative experience and later on never touch this thing in your life. Because the upside that it can do for you is there. It's something that will significantly impact your whole entire future. And I believe in it. So I want to be able to help steer you guys in understanding how to grow as an option trader, but more importantly, how to focus on the longer picture. The longer picture is really where all the money is going to be made. There's no point in making $100,000 in 1 year that in the next 7 months it's all gone. Doesn't help. And if the next 3 years it's all gone, I'd rather you make $40,000 for the next 6 years straight than make $100,000 in 1 year and the next 5 years just be an up and down gamble. That's what happens. A lot of individuals developing their psychology behind investing and growing money and losing money, it's a process. Some people go into this with a sprint and they're done with trading and investing in the first month or 2 because they're sprinting. Learn the different vehicles of the stock market. Growing stocks. Hey, I can annualize a 20% APY? Amazing. That's much more attractive than most traditional investments out there. Okay. Now diversification. Okay, I have $10,000. Let me allocate 70% to stocks, something that can grow my money at, let's say, 10-15%. But if it does begin to lose me money, hey, I can always take a 5% loss, max 8 to 10% loss on my stocks, and it's not the end of the world for me. A lot of people, younger especially, have it flipped. They want to go heavy on options, 70% in options, and well, stocks don't really make too much money, so I'd rather go buy options, make the money. Yeah, it's true, but when you lose that money, now you tell yourself, damn, it would have looked a lot better in my stocks. So you're learning. You know, this is experience. It's a patient journey. It takes time, but guys, I'd rather you guys learn this now as soon as possible than 10 years down the line, right? And I share this advice with you guys because no one gave it to me. No one told me none of this. I made a lot of mistakes in my option trading journey, which is why I teach people, in my investing journey, which is why I teach people, because I don't want people to go through what I went through. And some people don't value that, but others do. They notice that I have experience. I don't just talk to share fantasies with you guys. I share with you guys because option trading has completely changed my life, but it's also impacted me mentally and has, dude, I have made some serious mistakes, and yeah, I paid the consequences for them, and I don't want any younger individuals or older individuals to continue that. So when introducing yourself to option trading, before I start sharing my option trading tips with you guys on the next couple videos, I recommend that all of you guys begin building your portfolio, but buy stocks. You can still sell them in the short term. I recommend you buy and sell short-term stocks in your Roth IRA. If you don't already have your Roth IRA set up and don't know how to get started, or if you don't know which stocks to buy, how to even get into the whole entire market, you guys can always contact me at 909-695-6336, which is actually my personal phone number. I'll be glad to help you guys. Of course, I can only do so much in terms of where it is you're going to be mentally and how you manage that risk, because I give people advice all the time. Some people, you'd be surprised, do not take it. So if you're really going to value that advice, I'll be more than glad to share it with you. But now, let me go ahead and step back here. If we're going to go ahead and introduce you to stock options, I want you guys to go into this with some respect for the risk that you're taking. Stock on buying stocks is down here in risk. Stock options is way up here in risk. You're at the epitome of risk. So understand that, when getting into investing and trading. Hey, am I going into an investment that's potentially low to medium risk, or am I really risking a lot? And that's where you begin to analyze more logically where it is you're diversifying the capital. Do you want to put a lot of capital into a low/medium investment, or do you want to put the vast majority of the capital into a high risk investment? Some people that are a little bit more impulsive and spontaneous, they'll go for that high risk investment. That's a lot of individuals on the internet, a lot of individuals in the world. You'd be surprised how many people are not afraid to go put $4,000 on the line despite their portfolios only being worth $6,000. A lot of people have that kind of get rich quick mindset that they're not afraid of the risk, which is a very great, I guess you can say, quality to have as an investor, because a lot of people struggle with investing and trading because of their fear. So if you're that person that doesn't have that fear, great, you're ahead of the curve. But fear and risk, it's not respected in the stock market. The stock market doesn't give you money for being reckless, for being that risk taker, that high reward kind of guy. Nope, stock market doesn't care how you feel. You take that risk and lose, the stock market opens the next day. You take that risk and win, the stock market opens the next day. The stock market is not like the casino where they're intentionally targeting to take your money. No, you have the choice, you have the control in the stock market, which is what I love. But it's important that you manage that control, because without you managing it, well, no one else is pressing the buy or sell buttons but you. It's a real self-developing experience to be the one responsible for everything. So introduce yourself to that. So start with minimal capital, protect it. And learn, more importantly, through vehicles like maybe a prop firm funded account, learn through vehicles like maybe paper trading, maybe just doing technical analysis replays on TradingView. You can also maybe buy yourself a $50 prop firm funded account. Don't look at this as your vehicle that you're going to pay $50 and go make $5,000 a week with. No, don't set those expectations. But also, you can kind of, hey, you know what? I'm going to use this simulation or this data to practice identifying fair value gaps, identifying points of supply, points of demand, understanding market volume, understanding VWAP indicators. You have your MACD indicators. Those are different tools that we as traders use and learn. Invest into guidance, invest into coaching realistically, because a lot of people try to figure this out by themselves, and because they're stubborn and have that determination and ambition to succeed, they'll keep losing until they run themselves dry. But if they would have just skipped the gap and invested in someone to help them and guide them, they would have got the achievement a lot sooner. That's what I did, and sure, it got me so far. I had to go put in the education and I had to go put in the further education to grow myself there. Was it easy? Absolutely not. But it was worth that little push, that little, taking the training wheels or putting the training wheels on, and then later for me to take them off. So that's what I recommend for you guys. And I give you guys this heads up because I want all of you guys to succeed. I want all of you guys to have a good journey in option trading and investing, so you guys grow something stable for your long term, and more importantly, make money work for you. That's the main reason why we are all here. So do this with research, do this with risk management, do this with patience. Don't let social media, don't let other people influence you to rush the process, to be impulsive and just lose money. So I care about you guys, and I hope all of you guys have the very best in your investing and trading journey. The next couple of videos, I'm going to share with you guys some little tips that I've learned throughout my trading career that help manage this risk and kind of keep me out of harm's way. So I hope these tips help you guys, and I wish all of you guys the very best on your trading journey. Jerry Trades the SoCal Trading Group, over and out.